All right, so this is my design collage. Um, so basically, I just used four pictures of different chairs that kind of match the um, little framework that explain like the kind of the process of design. Um, and I kind of kept it to be like a little color coordinated uh, with the different type of seats. Um, I'd say the biggest thing that I learned about uh, design while I was looking for the seats or looking for seating areas was that obviously there's so many different ways to design seats and stuff like that, different colors, and they all kind of, I guess, complement the little graph that I found. Um, and I used the quote from Leonardo da Vinci, "Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication," because as you can see, most of these like designs for these seats are super simple and but they're also like pretty unique. Um, and yeah, the graph kind of explains the design in a way that I think that like they explained in a lot of our lectures. For like testing, stuff like that, prototype. I remember in one of the lectures with it was like the news, it's like the news show about the big company that makes a lot of like different gadgets when they were making the shopping cart and stuff like that. And there was a bunch of different prototypes and like them testing it and like seeing which works. And they had like little groups, and so that's kind of why I went with that for my collage. Then going over to my matrix. Um, so uh, actually, I'm living in Korea right now, and I like took a trip. We went to like an amusement park and like a mall here. It's big. Lotte World is like a big thing here in Korea, and they have like a big mall. Um, and there's an amusement park there also. So it was cool being able to like find different seating areas and stuff like that from a matrix. So the first one was like a mall bench. It was like outside the food court, and my friend was using the bathroom, and I'd actually never seen like a bench like that before. Um, it actually wasn't really comfortable at all. I think that if anything, it just looked really cool, super like futuristic. The design was pretty cool, and like the colors on it. Um, I don't know if I've ever seen anything like it, so that's why I think it was unique, if anything, more than anything, unique. And then my next uh, picture number two was the at the amusement park, and we were going through this area. And I just noticed those seats, but at first there was some kids sitting on them, so I just I had to circle back like towards the end of the night. But I think those were super dope the way that they the aesthetics at least, and I guess like the like social impact. I know was one of the categories. Obviously for like an amusement park that would be ideal to have something that complements the like I guess you could say what the I guess complements the park. Um, so but then again, they weren't really comfortable, and they were made of like I want to say like ceramic. So yeah, weren't comfortable at all though. And then number three was a food bench that I've never seen. I've never really seen anything like that. Also, where it was I guess like we have like school desk, but um this was outside of a ice skating rink, and there was like food around the ice skating rink and stuff like that. Um, and so I'm guessing that that's what that was used for, with um, the little table that it has connected to it. Um, they were pretty comfortable though. It was like a pad seat, so I thought it was pretty cool though. I've never really, like I said, never really seen anything like that. Um, And then moving on to picture 4, it was oh yeah, it was so like metal bars. I didn't really get the best picture of it because it kind of closed. But there's like made out of metal bars with like gaps in between, which is it's just like a normal bench. Um, that it looked pretty nice, but then again, it wasn't that comfortable. Obviously, metal. Um, it was also right outside of a skate rink, like an ice skating rink, as you can kind of see in the picture. So I guess they're using it, people are using it to put on their skates or whatever. So it's not really something to just kind of hang out on, more of just um, like that's why I put number 9 for the functionality, just because it'll get the job done if you're trying to put on your skating rinks or your skates. Um, and then for number 5, this was actually in the train station coming back from my trip. That I thought it looked pretty cool. It's like a little octagon, like seeing thing you can like lean back on the little thing in the middle. If anything, that was one of the more comfortable seats, I guess, out of all of them. Um, and it's just something new that I never really saw, and I think it looks pretty cool. And yeah, that would be it for me. It's,
I guess it's my turn to go. I was fortunately while I was here, I was realizing that my collage is not available to me because I have it on my Google Drive and I don't have internet here. The Wi-Fi internet. It's the weirdest setup I'm in, but unfortunately, I only have my what do you call it, the Matrix thing set up. Um, I can kind of I gotta start the video and turn around. Okay, so the first one I chose was a park bench. It's in my town. It's like there are pictures from like my town basically, and it's at Arboretum, and I don't know. It kind of looks like a little bit lonely and not super comfortable. Was sort of what I kind of came up with it. Although it was like environmentally friendly, I guess, because it's made out of wood. Um, and I said like a little bit of social impact, but because theoretically 2 people could sit there, but it's mostly um, kind of lonely, like kind of on its own there. And then I went over here. This is like a seating area outside of like a Dunkin' Donuts and sub shop and stuff like that. And obviously, this is a much more like social seating area. It's also not entirely comfortable because all the chairs are like metal chairs. Um, I wasn't sure about the environmental impact of that. I don't know, but not great, but definitely a better social experience. And then this one was actually a chair on my back deck. It's kind of just like in the middle range of everything. It's not super comfortable, but it's also not like truly uncomfortable. Obviously, social impact is pretty low. And then this one is at a kind of hard to see on here, but it's at a bar in my town. It's like right down the road from where I live, and it has like metal chairs, and it's kind of like a kind of like an industrial look to it a little bit, one of those like gastro pubs. So I mean, it's like a high social impact, but chairs are actually incredibly uncomfortable to sit in. I've sat in them quite a few times, and I have to like stand up for like a few minutes, like every couple of minutes. That when I'm sitting in them, this is so uncomfortable. But it's definitely like a good social location. And then this one is a gravity chair that was also on my back deck. I chose it just because it's extremely comfortable and it's comfortable to like lie down in and like get some sun. Um, I mean, it's not very good socially, obviously, and it's kind of like in the middle of the road for the rest of the other things. But for comfort, I set it as like at the highest. Um, and then, unfortunately, I wish I could go over um, my collage, but I had it based around the Steve Jobs quote. That like, because I remember in one of our lectures, it was talking about Steve Jobs, and it was going over how like design is not just what it looks like and feels like. Design is how it works. It was kind of based around that, and I had kind of like the functional aspect of each chair. And, oh my god, what is it doing? I think that's about it. I'm trying to on my phone, and I can't open up Zoom to cancel. Yeah, that was basically the idea of my collage. Okay, there we go.
Cool. If you get a chance, that like while everyone's presenting and it does eventually come up, then we can just present it at the end.
Probably not. I mean, I'm at work, and I
Gotcha.
don't want to like explain all of it because we don't have internet right now.
Gotcha.
It's closed.
Cool.
The internet's
Gotcha.
not working.
I got you. No problem.
I'm using my data. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, I can go ahead and share my screen. All right, so this is my collage. I also have a little like the design thinking the same thing as Josiah, except mine just doesn't have the quote, but it has all the different things about design. I pretty much based it around just kind of like a very like color coordinated, like all the colors go together. It's kind of like a dark color palette. This is the one on the third one down. So one that's like kind of like a sage green color in the background is like it's like reminds me of just kind of like castle-y, like stuff that you would see like if you're going inside like a castle or like in a movie. And then also just the one chair that's sitting to the side. And then I really love like the green chairs on top. They look so comfortable to just sit in. And then the one that's brown just reminds me of like a chair that like someone would sit in, like reading a book. And then obviously down at the bottom by the design thinking, like chairs for like a lecture for college and school. And what reminded me of my collage was one of the lecture videos. It was I don't remember his name, but it was someone who was they were talking about how in Arizona, when they're making like billboards or like advertising signs, that they like companies will go to their business and they will like double check on them before like it gets approved. And that they were talking about how in Arizona, in Tempe in specific, like their city is very much they only deal with like certain colors on like their advertising and like on billboards that you see, which I thought was really interesting. And it kind of just reminded me of the few pictures that I chose as the color palette. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my matrix. So it's going in order from 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the first one is a room chair, very comfortable to sit in. So I put comfort as 8, obviously could be better. I put for the second picture is a living room chair. The comfort is a 10, and I put the cost as an 8 because it's very like the cloth on the chair is very like high end. And then I put social impact as a 9 just because there's other surrounding chairs around there. The third one is a bench. The comfort is an 8, but again, as you can see, it's like a wood frame, and the cushion that you would sit on is pretty thin, so not exactly a 10. This fourth one is an outside pool chair. It's very socially high in number because, again, it's around a pool and a bunch of people will be in the pool and there are other surrounding chairs around it. But the cost is fairly good if you're looking for something that will just get the job done. However, it probably is not going to last a while. And I can attest to that because there's another chair that's just like this that has a hole in it. So that just shows that. And then this last one is just a chair at my work. Very comfortable to sit in after a long morning. And it's also just high on the social number because people will come back and forth from the back where it's at. Um, so yeah, that is mine.
Okay. I guess I will go next. Okay, let me share my screen. All right. Sorry, not that guy yet. So this is my collage, and as you can kind of tell, I like the modern design a lot more. In my collage, I kind of pointed out what makes design bad. I used reference to our lectures for what makes it bad and what makes it good. I really liked this quote. He quoted him in the lectures quite often. And I really liked it because it kind of says like, you can always have an idea almost in a sense, at least to my understanding of that quote. Yeah, and this is my collage, my matrix, sorry. As you can see in that first one, that's a chair from my work. It's not the most comfortable chair, meaning I gave it a 6, and it's probably not the most expensive either, but it's also probably not the most safe because it's pretty low to the ground. So like you have to fall down pretty far before you actually sit in it. And sustainability, it probably is not the best just because it's kind of like a fake leather, so it could be easily ripped, especially in the environment it's in, because it's being sat in all day, easy tears, stuff like that. Social impact, it was kind of, it gave it right in the middle. Function works pretty well. Aesthetic, I said it worked well for my store because it matches the theme and the color. Number 2, this is a chair in my grandma's kitchen. Comfortability, it's kind of like the chair in Ryan's matrix, where it's that really tall metal chair. Not the most comfortable to sit in, but it's probably pretty cost efficient and pretty easy to make because it's just metal mostly. I would say it's not the safest just because it is very high off the ground. It's probably 3-4 feet off the ground before you can sit in it. But it will last a really long time since it is that dense metal, as long as it doesn't rust. And then in the third one, that's a patio chair off of my back patio. It's pretty comfortable because my grandma actually redesigned the like seating part, that comfortable part. She reupholstered it and made it a lot more comfortable. So it was pretty cost efficient because she kind of did that herself. And then that side part's like that wicker material. So it was pretty cost efficient as well. Pretty safe because those, you can get a good seat in it. And then that fourth one is just a pretty standard couch, very comfortable couch, has the reclining seats. Cost, it was probably pretty expensive, as most couches are. But the safety is guaranteed kind of situation. And then that last one is that park bench. We've all sit in like a metal picnic table. It's not the most comfortable. It's probably a little more on the pricier end, but not too expensive. But it does have a very good environmental impact because many people gather at these places to either do like a cookout, whatever you want to do at the park. Definitely not the most safe though, because it is metal and it's around children a lot. So, and I remember my times as a kid hitting my head on those a few times. But it is probably pretty sustainable. Because that one is a metal park bench, so it will last a while. And yeah, that is all for me.
Believe it's my turn now. Let me share screens. There we go. This one is my collage. I did because I remember oh my god, the lectures mentioning that there's like different ways to show designs. So I did the background showing like chair assembly instructions, showing you how like, the chair's made, and as well as the design. And then I have a whole bunch of different colors of chairs in the shape of a couch, which is, a seating area filled with a bunch of different chairs going in the spectrum of different colors, showing that in a way, even if it's like random colors, it can all still be united and still look nice. Not matrix. No, yeah, the matrix for the seating. One is a metal bench outside of a hospital. It really isn't that comfortable. So like it's a very low rating. It's metal. Cost, it's one of the more expensive ones because metal is very expensive. Environmental impact, not that bad. Safety, it's a metal bench. They hurt if you fall on them. Sustainability, it's metal's pretty sustainable compared to plastics like other chairs. Social impact is very strong because it's right outside the hospital at the pickup entrance for people who are getting out, as well as the function to keep people who sit there and waiting. Aesthetic, it's a metal bench. It fits in pretty well with the hospital's theme of nice and glossy, trying not to look dirty. The second one is a group of matching chairs from a lecture room inside my mom's hospital that she works at. Comfortability is pretty nice. Rated at like 6 out of 10 because it is cushioned chairs, although it doesn't really have, what I took into account were armrests, which aren't that comfortable if you're in a lecture hall, something to lean on other than the back of the chair. Cost, they're very cheap. I was able to find these online for like 20, maybe a little more than that. Environmental impact, they're made with both plastic and cotton, which is very high in oh my gosh, waste, as well as safety. They're rolly chairs, so I don't consider them that safe. I kind of mixed up sustainability with environmental impact, so the ratings are kind of messed up there. Social impact, you're sitting there for a lecture, comfortable chair. 3 was a chair in our break room. It's a plastic chair. It's really not that comfortable. It's really cheap, probably $15. Environmental impact, plastic, it's not the best. Safety, that type of plastic bends really well, and when you're leaning in it, it could easily break and hurt somebody. Social impact, it's in a chair in the back of a break room, so you're going to sit there and communicate with workers as you're being comfortable. Aesthetic, it kind of matches, kind of not. It was a cheap chair, bought to be in the break room. 4 are chairs that are part of my work in the cafe seating area. They're really not comfortable. They're just plain wooden chairs. They're really cheap. Environmental impact, they're wood, so they degrade easier, or they recycle better than like metals and cottons. Safety, it's a very hard wood. There's no armchairs, blah, blah, blah. Sustainability is kind of the same how I did with environmental impact. I got them mixed up. Social impact is very high because it's in a cafe. People sit there to talk, have meetings, do calls with everybody. Aesthetic, it matches the whole look of our cafe, all wood, very nice brown color. 5 is my sister's chair in one of our rooms. It's very comfortable. It has it's all cushioned. It has arm chairs or arm rests as well. Cost, it was not too expensive, not too cheap, nice to afford. Safety, it's pretty safe. It has the armrests to keep you inside your chair, but it does also have the wheels. Sustainability, it's made out of cotton and plastic, which is still very not the best. Social impact, it is just in like a little arts and crafts room. So it is just my sister uses it to be by herself or just watch TV. So it doesn't have much of that. The function works pretty well just for my sister to use it. Aesthetic, it fits in with the room, but it doesn't like cohesively match with everything else. Yeah.
Okay, I will go next, obviously. So my collage, I did a lot of comfort chairs. This one, she's kind of taking a nap. This one by a fireplace. This one kind of in a place where you can just hang out and relax. Same with this one. I chose a quote that says a chair's function is not just to provide a place to sit, it is to provide a medium for one's self-expression. I like to be comfortable, so I think that's where I kind of was drawn to it. I really just like to relax and read books and everything like that. So I think that's where I kind of was drawn to that quote. Next would be my matrix. I work in an oral surgeon's office, so we have a bunch of chairs. The first one would be a recovery chair. It's a recliner, kind of like a leathery material. And then this next one is our office chair. Oh, that recliner one is so comfortable. This next one is just like our office chair that we normally sit in the reception area. It's in the conference room right now. It has a rollie, so it's not very safe. This next one is a chair in the lobby. There's multiple of these chairs in the lobby. Of course, it's a waiting room. So socially, a lot of people are there waiting, talking to each other. It's made from wood. So yeah, kind of environmentally friendly, kind of not. This one next right here, it's in one of the exam rooms. Very comfortable. We'll go over treatment and everything like that while they're sitting in those chairs to make them feel comfortable. It's swivelly, pretty amazing to sit in. It's very comfortable. The next one is just a chair in my sister's room. She has all her stuff on it, so it's kind of cluttered, but socially, she just sits there by herself to do whatever she needs to do, like her nails or whatever, makeup. So she's pretty much by herself all the time in that chair. But other than that, pretty quick and easy.